Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm wrapping up the 727 that I'm building for the Dodge truck. Figured I'd bring you along, show you the last steps, putting the valve body in, stuff like that, and go over with you what came out of it and what went back into it. So I went ahead and tore it all the way down. Really didn't need much, just needed some beefing up for the big block. Those are the front clutches that came out of it. Nothing wrong with them at all. I built this trans back in '07, and it's had AMSOIL in it its entire life. Pretty good stuff. And the rear clutch pack, same thing, excellent condition. Rear band that came out of it had a little bit of darkness back here, but this band could have been used, would last a good long time. I'll probably end up putting it in something else with a little less horsepower down the road. And the front band, who can argue with that, right? So all in all, it was all in good shape. We did decide to put all new stuff back in it. After all, it is going behind a 700 plus horsepower big block. Front clutches, got a stack of 6 Red Eagles and Colines. Rear clutches, got a stack of 4 Red Eagles and Colines. High energy front band, high energy rear band. CRT, billet low reverse servo. Blocked off accumulator with the D-rings on it. Teflon sealing rings on the front servo. Billet 4.2 band apply lever. Billet band strut. Factory band adjuster. I did put Teflon sealing rings on the input shaft and the stator support. Replaced every bushing in this transmission. Got the end play set. It was 52 thousandths gear train end play. 25 thousandths clutch pack clearance on the rears. 83 thousandths clutch pack clearance on the front. Now, bring you guys along for the ride as we install the CRT billet trans brake reverse manual valve body. Focus. Number 612, made on July 31st, 2023. I've already drilled the case and installed the case connector for the brake. Already lubed up the seal for the shift shaft because Mr. Cope likes to make dirty jokes when I make videos putting in assembly lube. So the accumulator piston in there and a blocker rod in place. Pretty straightforward. Make sure we ain't gonna pinch the wire. Set the valve body in place. And there's 10 bolts that holds it in place. I like to get them all started because it's always inevitable when you're putting valve body in that it's cocked just a little bit. And you start snugging all the bolts down one at a time. Next thing you know, you run across one you can't get started, and you got to go loosen them all again. So I just get them started, and then we'll go through, make sure the valve body's nice and centered, and torque them down. I don't like using power tools to do any of this kind of stuff. Been there, seen the worst. It's inevitable. You get one started, hit the trigger, and remember, you're threading into an aluminum case. You get a cross thread and hit it with an impact, and next thing you know, you're tearing it all back apart and putting a helicoil in. So just take the extra minute, start them by hand. One thing that's pretty important to note, and I've checked this ahead of time before I made the video, but you want to make sure that when you make that blocker rod, if you're a dumbass like me and forget to just buy one, they're $5, but I just forgot to order it, so I made one. You want to make sure that you don't make it too long and it prevents that valve body from seating all the way up against the case. Torque things down with that stood up on there, and you'll be lucky if all you end up with is a leak. So we'll snug them all down. I've already set the torque wrench, 70 inch-pounds. I'll go through. Hit them all with the torque wrench. There we go. I always like to give it one round afterwards. Double check everything. Got our torque in place. And there we go, valve body installed. I did forget to mention, adjusted the bands, 72 inch-pounds, 2 turns, front and rear. 72 inch-pounds torque, and then back them out 2 turns, front and rear. Plug in our trans brake. If I can get my fat fingers in there. There we go. There. Nice tight fit. Billet filter extension. 1, putting a deep pan on it. And 2, as you can see, we got a trans brake solenoid. That ain't gonna work. So, put a nice filter extension. Don't forget your O-ring. These are actually so nicely machined it probably wouldn't leak if you did, but it's there for a reason. Don't want to be sucking air. These units run at a lot higher than stock pressures. Sucking air is a bad thing. Start our 3 screws. I always like to start with the middle one first. And these don't have to be super tight, just snug them down so they don't fall out later. And there we go. Now, I was going to use, this is just a stock pan off of 46 RE. I ran this on this transmission for years and years. I was just going to use it. However, I just don't really care for the way it fits. It's not quite deep enough, and you can barely feel it touching that filter. I like to have a little bit of airspace in there. Start smashing the pan up against the bottom of the filter, and you're going to end up with fluid starvation problems. So, got on the phone with Mr. Cope this morning, and he's sending me a nice aluminum deep pan. I'm going to stick this one on here for now just to keep it clean inside. Get the damn bolt started. There we go. Something else I'm getting from Mr. Cope. It's a nice oil pan stud kit. Makes all that fumbling around with bolts a thing of the past. Set the gasket on the studs, set the pan on the studs, tighten down the nuts. Makes things so much nicer. I'll make another little video. Last time when I got the valve body and stuff, he sent it on Tuesday, I had it on Friday, so I'll make another video this weekend putting a new pan on it. And then we just get to hurry up and wait for the torque converter. I will probably end up sticking this thing in the truck behind the engine without the converter, because it needs to be in there so I can figure out my drive shaft angle, my pinion angle for the rear end, and drive shaft length. I've still got to have a drive shaft made. We're running out of time. No Name is right around the corner. Forgot to bring the gasket over here for the neutral safety switch, so, but you guys probably already know how that goes. We'll do that another time. There we go. Some pretty nice upgrades to this transmission. Money's a little short, so the one thing that, actually a couple things that I would have really liked to have done that are just going to have to wait is, it needs to get a billet drum. I did put the drag sprag in it, bolt-in drag sprag, 16 element. The valve body's got low band apply, so it's a whole bunch safer than it was, but it's still not explosion proof. Explosion proof is a billet drum. That'll come this winter. And the other thing is the front planetary is still a aluminum planetary. It is a 4-pinion. Both planetaries in this thing are 4-pinion, but it is aluminum. So, yeah, there's a chance that release the trans brake, it could tear the splines out of that aluminum planet. It's been known to happen. But other than that, this transmission's pretty bulletproof at this point. I think it's going to stand up to that Rowdy 451 pretty well. And because I know the weak point in it with the Planet, I probably will be a little bit nicer to it than I otherwise would be launching. So we won't be quite as fast as we could be this year, but beats walking home. So that's where we're at. You guys have probably already seen the video at the rear end. I got the rear end put together. Got the 3-inch studs in it. I still waiting on my damn tires. I'm gonna do a little rant here against a company called Simple Tire that likes to sell tires on Amazon. And I thought I was getting me a good deal. I mean, the price was right. I mean, it's set at Cooper Cobra 275 60 15s for less than 300 bucks. It's a pretty good buy, right? But then we end up with the silly moving of the delivery date, and the expected delivery keeps changing, and 10 days later they still aren't even on the FedEx truck. And I have information of how many tires are in wholesaler warehouses in this state of Arizona. There's no less than 92 of those things available between Phoenix and Tucson from a major tire distributor. There's no excuse for that shit. So Any of you guys thinking about getting tires from Simple Tire because they have a good price? Well, prepare for the runaround and the wait. I actually ended up doing a chargeback on my credit card and did that yesterday. And the funny thing is the tires miraculously appeared on the FedEx truck today. Supposedly going to be here Thursday. Go figure. Funny how that works. They get your money and then they don't want to send you nothing. And then you start raising hell. Now the damn camera overheated while I was rambling on about that bullshit company called Simple Tire. But anyways, guys, just be warned, stay away from them sons of bitches that take your money. And I guess they just send the shit whenever they feel like it. Fuck, I don't know. But anyhow, we still got a bunch to do on the truck, but we're one step closer. Transmission's done. Hopefully the converter shows up soon. And this weekend I'm trying to get the rear end up underneath of it and get some more video footage on that. It's actually a B-body rear end, so I'll be moving spring perches. And I think it's going to fit real nice underneath the truck, and actually kind of a built-in narrow job because the original rear end was 65 inches wide hub to hub, and this one's 60, so it's going to give me an extra 2.5 inches of room for tire on each side. So that'll be nice. Got a Hydro Boost kit coming for the brakes. Once that's here, I can get it fitted in, get the engine sitting in here with the transmission, start measuring angles for the drive shaft, and the wiring and all that, that shit's easy. So it's going to be close, but I think we'll get her. We'll see y'all in Sykeston. Hope you enjoyed this video and appreciate you tuning in. If you want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe. There's more to come on this truck, that's for sure. Thanks again, guys. See you later.
I'll get the hell out of here. We're closed.